Hey there, in today's video, I am going to show you how to create a master calendar view for multiple dates within multiple databases or just multiple date properties within one database. Because as we know, as of right now, Notion does not allow us to create a calendar view that incorporates multiple dates or multiple date properties. We only have the choice of choosing one date property to view in one calendar. So it can be really handy to just have all your dates from multiple different places and for multiple purposes in one place, in one calendar. So I'm going to show you how to do that here. It's slightly complicated. There are a few formulas involved, but once you've got it, it's easy and it's really worth the while to just have everything in one calendar. So as you can see here, I've set up three different tables. These are three separate tables, each with dates. So one's just events, one's called appointments, one is called deadlines. And then at the bottom, I have the combined calendar table. So I started with events. I have the event name column, the date column, and then I have this third formula column that is calculating a timestamp from this date here. So this is going to help us when we go to combine all the dates in one calendar to convert all the numbers into date format. So that the calendar view will allow us to choose that as the view. And you'll see more about what I mean in a moment when we consolidate everything. So when you scroll all the way down here, this is the combined calendar. I've got 3 rows, one for each of those 3 events, and I've just related it to the event database so I could pull in each event here. I rolled in the timestamp, and then I've got a formula that's converting this timestamp back into a date again, so that in this calendar view, we can choose this date as our view. Because if we just rolled in instead the dates from each of the database, so if we just pulled directly the dates in here, they would not be formatted as dates, and therefore we could not choose them as our calendar view. So they would just be, I think, number format, which the calendar won't recognize. So we have to convert it back to a date format from this timestamp format. So I'll just put this into action with the appointments and deadlines calendar so you can see it in action. So I'm just going to first come up here and copy the formula. So here's the formula for the timestamp. So again, just converting a date into a timestamp. I'm going to add that to each of these. So you just add a formula. Oops. And I'll call this timestamp. And then just put the formula in. The exact same formula works here because the column name is the same. It's just saying timestamp prop date. So let me do the same here. Formula. I'm going to call it timestamp again so I know what's up with this. And paste. Okay, so now we have our timestamps in here and we're ready to pull in both of these databases as well into the combined calendar. So down on the combined calendar, I'm going to add a row. I just created a selection menu to give these events context. You could also use the name column if you want to roll that in for context as well. I know this is an appointment. So the first thing I want to do is add a relation to the appointment database. So here's the appointments. So I add the relation and yeah, I call it appointments. That's perfect. So I can roll or relate it to this. So I'm going to just pull in the first appointment. There we go. Then we want to do the roll up for the timestamp. So we go down to roll up, choose the relation as appointments, and then choose the timestamp as the roll up. And then I'm going to call this appointment timestamp. Yeah. Okay. So now that should be good. And then the last thing is creating this formula again, just to convert that timestamp back to a date format. So here's the formula for that. So it's just saying from timestamp to number. So I'm going to add in a formula. And this is going to be called appointment date. And then I'll click on the formula. I'm just going to paste that in. And then I'm just going to change this to, I mean, right now it's pulling in the event timestamps, but we want the appointment timestamps. There we go. So June 8th is that appointment number 1. And we see that is correct. So it's pulling in the right data. And then now we have those 3 columns in there. We come back to the far left. Oops. So we have this column called all dates. I've created it called all dates. So we're going to pull in all the dates here. So there is one column with all the dates from all the databases. And this is what we'll use in our calendar view. So I'm just going to click on this to see what's going on. So here's the formula for this. So you just have to say Yeah, and see, I use that pull down menu, select right here. So if it says appointment, or if it says event, it's going to pull in the event date. If it says appointment, it's to pull in the appointment date. Appointment date. Right. So I'm not sure why. Oh, there we go. So now it's working. That should automatically fill, but now you see I have this sorted by date, so it moved up one row. But now the appointment date has been added to the same column as the event date. So we'll do that for the other two as well. So first thing we do is appointment, and I'll just do this both at once. So I know we have two more appointments. So I'm going to say, oops, wrong column. Go over here, appointment 2 and appointment 3. So then it pulled in the timestamps. Now the formula over here is automatically updating, and it's automatically updating over here. So see, once you have it set up, it's super, super easy. So now let's do the 3 deadline ones. I'll just add 3 more rows. Deadline, 1 more row for deadline. Okay. Now we have to just add 3 columns for this one. So let's do the relation first. And this is going to be called deadlines. Oops, hold on. Deadline, there we go. Pull that in first. Okay. And then we'll pull in deadline 1 and deadline 2 and deadline 3. There we go, on separate rows. Now we'll roll in that timestamp. So just go to roll up, choose the deadline database, and then choose timestamp. Now let's call that deadline timestamp. Okay. And then we add this formula for the deadlines. So I'm just going to copy and paste this so I have a starting point. So formula, and I'm going to call it deadline date, and then edit the formula. Now we want to, right now it's pulling from the appointment timestamp because I copied that. So the deadline timestamp, I'm going to change it to, so let's just double check that. So the deadline dates are June 9, June 5th, June 12th. Correct. Those match here. So we're pulling in the right data. If we come back over here, oops, deadline. Oh yeah, let's change this. There we go. So it's just saying if the selection here is deadline, then pull in information from the deadline date column. So now we have all our dates pulling in one column, and that is the trick. So now if we go to this calendar view, I'll just make this wider. There we go. So now you can see we have all the dates and everything in this one calendar for our events, our appointments, and our deadlines, everything from all 3 of these separate databases. So that is everything. I hope that was helpful. Let me know of any questions.